Hello and welcome to another episode of a Rodge review. Today I will be reviewing the first 3 episodes of The Cape. This is a series following the adventures of cop Vince Faraday as he turns vigilante to try and bring down the ARC Corporation, but has taken over law enforcement in his town and is preventing him from regaining his life with his family. This series was from 2011. And it will cover the pilot, the second episode Tarot, and the third episode Cosmo. The series was created and written by Tom Wheeler, produced and published by Universal Pictures, and has a soundtrack by McCreary. It stars David Lyons as Vince Faraday, a former cop and also the Cape, Keith David as Max Bellini, a circus ringleader and bank robber, Summer Glau as Orwell, a master sleuth on the run from the ARC Corporation, James Frain as Peter Fleming, CEO of the ARC Corporation, and secretly the supervillain Chess, Jennifer Theron as Dana Faraday, Vince's wife, and Ryan Wynott as Trip Faraday, Vince's son. At the beginning of the pilot, Vince is contacted by Orwell and informed of a shipment of explosives being moved in through the train yard. When he goes to investigate, he is captured and has a chess mask stapled to his head. He is then released whilst the TV camera crews are watching and chased through the train yard by ARC security forces. He is caught in an explosion and presumed dead. A little while later he is rescued by the Carnival of Crime and its head Max Bellini. Unable to return to his family after having been identified publicly as Chess, he is forced to lay low with the Carnival of Crime. He finds the Cape, and Max offers to train him. One montage later, he finds out about another shipment of explosives being transported into the city. Whilst investigating, he meets Orwell and gains an ally in her. Overall, I like the idea of why he has to become a vigilante, because he is framed as the known supervillain Chess, and ARC have been given control of the police, and are also under Fleming's control. The scene intro texts are quite fun. Circus performers are also a lot of fun. Vinnie Jones looks less scaly, but more dimply, as one of the crime lords in the city. The Chess costume is not particularly impressive. I don't like his contact lenses with the chess pieces on. The Cape costume looked good in this episode, although the reflections on it seemed off. I think the first episode set up all of the series elements, but it felt as though a lot of material was taken out of it, and this material would have made it flow more smoothly, but probably wouldn't have fitted into the 45-minute time slot. The first episode didn't sell me on the quality of the show, I have to say. At the beginning of this episode, Patrick Portman, the Secretary of Prisons, is trying to keep ARC from taking over the city's jails. Chess sets a hitman to plan the death of Portman. Meanwhile, Vince decides to take out Chess directly and goes to Fleming and tries to take him out whilst he's sleeping. However, Fleming already has the hitman defending him at that night, and in the process, Vince gets stabbed and poisoned by Kane, the hitman. Narrowly managing to escape, Vince slowly recovers at the carnival, but bothered by his reckless behaviour, Max takes the Cape back. Angry, Vince leaves and sets up his own hideout, and begins the process of training himself to become immune to the various toxins used by the hitman, and learning to catch knives and dodge them. After seeing his drive, Max decides to give him the Cape back, and he saves Portman at a restaurant with Orwells Help. This episode had a fun intro, where Vince foils a robbery at a hardware store. The music was a lot better in this episode. In the pilot it was all over the place and didn't really fit any of the scenes, but here it was fitting to all of the scenes, and Kane even got his own theme tune. The episodes are still soppy. The knife throwing scene is nuts. He just feeds all of these throwing knives into one of those devices for chucking out baseballs or tennis balls. The introduction of Tarot was quite interesting. A society of secret assassins. Summer Glau was pretty badass when she was fighting Kane in the restaurant kitchens. There was some good development with Dana and Trip. Yeah, this episode was a lot better than the first episode. Pacing was a lot better, elements were given their proper attention, and overall quality was a lot higher as a result. Unfortunately, there wasn't as much time spent with the circus performers, which is a shame because they are a lot of the lighter for show, I think. The episode didn't cut any corners, I felt, and the music was on point this time. The start of this episode shows Gregor the Great, a master illusionist, escape from a prison. This is followed by Vince trying to get a corrupt cop to come clean with what he saw on the night he was framed. Gregor turns up at the carnival to recover the cape after all this time that has been promised to him. Vince is visited in his lair by Orwell, who crashes there until she can set up a new place of her own. Doing some digging, Orwell discovers that Gregor has a history of murder, so Vince follows him whilst he's out and about in the city, but quickly loses him. Gregor goes to a card game, trying to find out who the cape is, and when they're unable to tell him, he kills them all with playing cards into their necks. Later on, they have a confrontation at the carnival, and in the process, Gregor's activities are revealed. During a show, Gregor attacks the carnival, but Vince is able to defeat him, and ARC security rounds up all the homeless at the train yard to get rid of any witnesses of what happened. At the beginning of the episode, we're told that Gregor the Great is extremely skilled at escaping prisons, but this raises the question as why he's so bad at getting caught. Kills at the card game are cool. Gregor just absent-mindedly tosses the cards out and it catches the guys in the throat. I felt that Gregor was a good foil for Vince. They're both trained in the same sort of skills and are both of the same sort of build. Although I did find some of the fighting a bit hammy and there's too much use of slow motion. This episode is still better than the pilot, but perhaps not as good as the second episode. Gregor's traps at the circus show didn't seem as diabolical as one would have expected from an escape artist. From these 3 episodes, I can say that the cape is certainly a different... It's a brighter and more campy style of vigilante series. There's a lot of the characters have a lot of colour to them. It was a lot of fun to watch this, and there's a lot of different things in this compared to like something like Batman or Arrow. It's not the same old cliches. But if you're not really into vigilante or superhero series, you can quite easily give this one a miss. But if you are, I mean, particularly if you're more into superheroes, you might want to give this show a watch. I mean, it's only 10 episodes. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like, a comment, or subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.